Welcome back, my friends. As we approach Valentine's Day this weekend, relationships are on the minds of so many. After an unprecedented, that's a way to put it, 2020, many relationships were put to the ultimate test. Could you not kill each other locked in a house? Some may have even asked the question, how are we still married? One couple asks that question every week on their hit podcast of the same name. Joining us live are the hosts of How Are We Still Married, Ted Ishler and Beth Albright. Good morning, Ted and Beth.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Jason?
Great. What a great look. There's a podcast for everything. There's a podcast for peacocks and lunchboxes, but this is such a great idea. So I want to know what was the catalyst for this, guys?
Well, I think whenever we go to parties or anything and we talk to people and tell them our story, they always say at the end of it, we're like, how are you still married?
Right.
Like, well, let's put that into something.
Because we don't know the answer to that. I think we've moved so many times and did so many things, we never had a chance to stop and go, do I even like this guy anymore? I don't know.
Because, yeah, you guys tell everyone, this is when people are going to, like, put down their cornflakes. You guys have been married for 35 years, and you've moved 35 times. Did I get that right?
Yes.
That is true. And I'm not sure why. We're in the media business as well, and have moved around a lot. Especially early on in our marriage, we sometimes stay places 6 months, 4 months,
like 3 months. We made a marriage promise when we got married. We said whoever had the highest paying job in the largest market, the other person would have to quit their job and move. And we actually stuck with that. So the problem was we would get to some place and immediately the person that was down on their luck would start looking for a job and get one. And then the other person would have to quit their job and move.
And some of the pictures we're seeing there, I was a page at NBC early on. And we used to sneak onto the sets and take kissing pictures and things like that. That was in New York City. And then in Hollywood, we've been all over the place. Yeah. But we have all sorts of crazy stories.
Insanity.
And we just are trying to figure out, I think it's to us too to try to figure out how are we still married. I hope it comes out with the right answer when all this is over.
Well, so and Beth, you correct me if I'm wrong. You might look familiar to folks, especially daytime folks. You were on Days of Our Lives in the '90s. Am I right on that?
I was. Yes, I was. That was the end all be all. Like I couldn't even believe it. And soon after that, probably 8 months in, we had been trying to make another human, and we finally got pregnant. And it went into this nesting thing like immediately. So then I just wanted to move home to my mother. We talk about that on the show, and it's like, oh my God, that was always a riding theme. My mom.
Yeah, and the mother was in Alabama, so we leave LA to move to Alabama just to have our son. I was a writer on Candid Camera at the time. It's like, are you kidding me? We're doing that?
Okay,
so we're going back over these stories and thinking.
So I'm curious.
We're even reminding each other, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I forgot about that. You know, one time we went for a job interview and found out the boy was in a basement pretending to be a program director, and he was 13 years old.
We drive up to the house and knock on the door, like, oh, okay, it's not a real job.
So, well, that brings me to this. 35 years, you obviously know a lot about each other, but going to this past year with COVID, with basically being locked in a house together, did you guys discover anything new?
Well, I think we discovered that we actually do like each other.
That's sweet. I think I'll keep him.
Yeah, see, it's so because we've moved so much and we've had so many things. We're always saying, well, we don't even know if we had time to like each other. And so through this, we discovered that. There are some little irritating things, like how she talks over me. No,
well, it's called chemistry.
Yeah.
But it's really to me, it's very rewarding. You know, Ted is my best friend, and I got a chance to marry my best friend and run around all over the country with him, and it's just really been the best. Even though people think, oh my God, Beth, you don't have it figured out yet, and you're how old? We don't have it figured out yet. And some of the kids that I teach are like, oh my God, you don't have it figured out yet. I feel better about myself.
Well, what would you say? I mean, you guys are, you really are as close to experts as we've ever had on the show. Before we go, leave all the couples out there that maybe have been struggling through COVID. What's your best advice?
Well, I would say just, give each other a little space, but then, just enjoy this time. I mean, this is such an unusual time. I think being able to have the time together and maybe get to re-know each other a little bit.
Yeah, and I would say let the other person be themselves. instead of trying to always fix each other. Like, I really wish he'd not be so messy in the kitchen. It's an explosion. Like, I live with Pigpen. Just like give him his space. Be glad you have each other. Be glad you can have somebody to go through life with, someone to witness your life, and start to focus more on what you do like rather than what you don't like, and let them be themselves.
Guys, this went oh so fast. Will you guys please come back sometime so we can talk more?
We would love to.
Absolutely, Jason. Love your show. We have to watch it online, of course, because we're in California, but you are such a talent.
Thank you. That means a lot. Please, please, please come back. Ted and Beth, thank you so much. And everyone, support the podcast once again. It's called How Are We Still Married? New episodes drop weekly, and it's available wherever you find your podcasts, like Apple, Spotify, Google, and Sam Goody. Go to stillmarriedpodcast.com for more.